We're on page 25 in grammar. So go ahead and turn to page 25. 25. We are talking about the who, which clause. This is new to you guys, so I'm going to explain what it is. And while you're getting to that page on page 25, we're going to start eventually, not yet, but in a few weeks, we're going to start writing stories and using the who, which clause in the stories too, because it really adds a lot to your writing. So, who or which? Okay. And it's not WITCH like the Halloween witch, not that. This is WHICH, which. So, a who which clause is a group of words that describes the noun that it follows. A who which clause begins with the word who or which, a type of pronoun. So, who refers to people, personified animals, and pets. So, when I say personified animals, I mean animals in stories that are talking and acting like humans, but they're animals. Those are fantasy stories, right? Pretend stories. But we know a lot of those, especially Disney movies and animals that talk. So when you're talking about personified animals, you would use who to describe what's going on. Which refers to things, animals being animals, right? And places. So a who which clause must be added to a sentence that is already complete. Look at this first example here. It says the soldiers had traveled far. That's a good sentence. In parentheses, it says sentence because it's complete. It's a sentence. But if we just plug in a who or a which, it's no longer complete. So look at the next example. The soldiers who had traveled far. All they did was add who, but now it says fragment, and fragment means it's not a complete sentence. So here's what happens when you put who in the sentence. It robs that verb. It steals it from the main sentence. So had traveled, those are the verbs there. It takes that away from the original sentence. So you have to add another verb after it in order for it to make sense. So look at the next example here. The soldiers who had traveled far needed food. That makes sense. That's a complete sentence. Notice the word needed. That is a verb. It needs another verb after and a little more information after that in order for the sentence to make sense. So now we have a who clause. The who clause is who had traveled far. It's right there in the middle. So the soldiers who had traveled far needed food. And then look at the other example. You can switch those things around and say the soldiers who needed food had traveled far. It works either way. But the point is you have a verb inside the who clause, which is needed here. And you have a verb, actually this has two verbs after that. So there's got to be another verb after the who which clause in order for it to make sense. So the way to mark it in this book is to put parentheses around it. That's these marks like this, okay? And then you're going to write W/W, and that means who, which, because both of those words start with a W. That's how we're going to label this, okay? Look at this example here. The soldiers who had traveled far needed food is the same sentence we read earlier. But when we mark it in this book, we're going to put parentheses around it, who had traveled far, and label it with W/W. And then there's a comma rule at the very bottom here. It says place commas around a who which clause. So we use commas to separate it from the rest of the sentence, okay? Are there any questions about the who which clause? If not, shake your head no for me, so I know you don't have any questions. Okay, good. Let's turn. There's nothing on the back of that page, so let's go to the practice page here. Does anybody feel like reading it today? Yay, Malia, I saw your hand. Go for it.
The dwarf who bowed and walked away returned for a third time later that night.
Nice, good reading. And we have the word bowed is our vocabulary. It's in dark letters there. And bowed is bending at the waist, right? You bend forward. Usually when you go to a play, and that's at the end and everybody's clapping, they bow as a way of saying thank you, right? So the dwarf who bowed and walked away, he's bowing to them. Okay, so it's a verb, by the way. It's an action. So we're going to put a check by vocabulary. Next, we have articles. You know those. Those are a and the. So find those by yourself and label those by yourself. I see one there and one here. Check. A, and the. And then we have 3 nouns to find. So Abby, can you find those 3 nouns? Where are they at?
Dwarf
Good, that's one.
walked.
That's actually going to be a verb because it's an action.
The
The other 2 are a little tricky to find, but there's 2 more nouns. Person, place, or thing.
night.
Good, night is one. Good.
Is it third?
No, it's actually going to be time. So time is a noun. It's a thing. Time. The other clue is that you have a right here, even though you have third next. Whenever you see an article, you know a noun is coming. It might not be the next word, but it's going to be soon after that. So that's how I know time is a noun. So, okay, good job. And then Sydney, what about the who, which clause? Do you see it there? Like what we just talked about? It's going to start with who or which, and it has commas around it. You see it? Okay, go ahead and unmute and tell us what it is.
Bow.
Okay, so say the whole clause.
Wait, I can't see it.
You can't see it? Oh, it starts with who, and it goes all the way to the comma. So read that part right there for me.
Who bowed and walked away.
There you go. So we're going to put parentheses around it like that. That's what parentheses are. So when you're doing your homework this week, you're going to find these in your sentences. They're going to start with either who or which. That's how you know the beginning of it. And then you're going to look for until it has a comma, because that whole part is the who, which clause. And then we're going to label it. We're going to put W/W on top of it like that. Okay. That's labeling. That is a who, which clause in the middle of the sentence. Very good. And then London, how about what word needs to be capitalized?
The.
Good. We're just going to do 3 little lines like that. And then what should the end mark be, Megan? What do we need at the end of the sentence?
Period.
Yes, a period. Very good. And that's it. So we've added the who, which clause. So you're going to have these 3 things now. You're going to need to find the articles, which you know those now, the nouns, which are person, place, or thing, and the who, which clause. So you're going to have to mark it with a parentheses and W/W. Any questions about how we did this? Shake your head no if you don't have any questions. Okay, I see that. Okay, so your homework will be the next 3 pages like you've been doing. So we're done with grammar for today. You can put your grammar book away or put it aside. And then go ahead and get out your binders next. And you guys finished up your article, you're writing about scorpions. I have time for 2 people to read it. If you want to share it with the class, you can. You don't have to. It's only if you want to. Does anybody feel like reading scorpions that you wrote? No? It's okay. You don't have to.
Mommy, where's my thing? I want to read
Let's,
It's in there.
Nothing.
You can raise your hand.
okay, I saw that, Megan. Let's do it.
It's right here.
Oh, did you want to read yours, Abby?
Yeah.
Okay,
Go ahead, yeah.
you can read yours if you want. If you don't want to, it's okay. Next time, if you like, you might like a better story later and you want to read, but Abby, you can read yours, but don't feel like anybody else has to, okay? It's just an option. But Abby, we would love to hear yours whenever you're ready.
Scorpions are not insects. They are arachnids. And they have 8 legs, 2 pinchers, and a barbed tail. There are over 2,000 scorpion species. They are found on every continent except Antarctica. All types of scorpions are venomous, but only 30 have venom to kill a human. They mainly use their sting to paralyze their prey. Scorpions need very little air or food. Remarkably tough, they can often survive a freezer overnight. After they hatch, dozens of scorpion babies climb on and ride on their mother's back. In China, giant scorpions, grilled or fried, are eaten as a delicacy.
Wow. Okay, give her a clap. Good job, you guys. Good job, Abby. Wow, that was so good. I loved it. Did you want to read yours, Malia?
I want to read mine, but I think it's in my living room, so can I go get it real quick?
Yeah, go get that. While she's doing that, a little reminder to you guys. Some of you didn't really get the double spacing part. So remember when we put those little X's on your paper, every other line, I want you to try not to write on those lines that have an X. That's there to remind you, like, don't write here, leave that blank because you need spaces between your sentences. And I'm going to eventually I'll show you why you need those spaces. They're there for a reason. Some of you typed yours, and if you typed it, that's great. That makes it easy, right? So that's good that you're typing. And I saw yours, Megan, you double spaced yours, which was
My
perfect.
mom taught me how
Really good. I really liked it a lot. So
and showed
everything
me.
everybody did a really, really good job on their stories. So that's the other thing I wanted to tell you. On Google Classroom, I always put a little comment in there. So I want to make sure you find that. You should get an email probably to your mom or whoever's account is connected to the Google Classroom that tells you what the comment is. So make sure you read my comments on your homework. Okay. And if you need help with that, just let me know. Did you find it, Malia?
No, I didn't.
Next week. Okay, find it and then keep it in your binder. And then next week you can read it, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So we're done with scorpions. So you can put that away in your extra binder or extra folder, wherever you put your finished stuff. I want you to put it away in your finished folder, okay? And then we're going to get out the next story. So after you put away scorpions, you're going to put away the actual article, and this is that lesson plan page. Oh, I forgot. This yellow page goes somewhere. Let me tell you where this one goes first. I forgot about that one. In your writing binder, this one, there's a tab that says Model Charts and Outlines. You see that one? Model Charts and Outlines. When you get to that tab, you're going to see a yellow page in there. I want you to put this other yellow page behind that right here. So it goes behind the tab that says Model Charts and Outlines. That's the tab in the back of your binder. You'll see this one from before. That's an old one. You're going to go behind that one and then stick this one in there. When you open your rings, make sure you use those tabs at the top and the bottom. Don't pull on the rings in the middle because they'll bend and then it doesn't work right. Okay, so try to use those little tabs. Once you put that yellow page in there, close those rings. Use those little tabs and kind of squeeze them together. Close them up before you close your binder or before you move anything. Okay, so once you put that away, go back to the very front here. Source texts tab, that very first tab there. And when you turn that page, you're going to see week 3, the bald man and the fly. Give me a thumbs up if you see that in your binder. You guys see it? You're going to take this out, okay? So carefully open your rings again. And you're going to take out 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. When you see week 4, the fox and the stork, don't take that one out. Leave that there. You're only going to take out week 3. See where it says week 3? And then make sure those rings close. And then you can close up your binder, okay? The scorpions needs to go in a separate spot, in a separate folder or a separate binder. Okay. And you need a piece of lined paper, actually 2 pieces of lined paper, and a pen and a pencil. So you'll need all of that. Okay, so week 3, which is 4 pages from your binder, 2 lined pages, lined paper, and then a pen and a pencil. And once you have all that ready, give me a thumbs up so I can see that you're ready. Good, I see that, Abby. Good, Megan. So 4 pages for week 3. And then you need 2, good, I see that, Malia. 2 lined pages and a pen and a pencil. Sydney, you got it? You're working on it? Do you have it? Don't forget to close those rings, because if you forget and then you close up your binder, the pages come out and then it's a big, big mess. So, London, do you have your stuff ready? You ready? Okay, good. Sydney, are you good? Do you need help?
Some um some pages fell out.
Oh no. Okay. Go get your mom. She can help you with that, okay? Go get your mom because it's going to get a big mess if you don't fix it right away. Okay. While she's getting her mom, it looks like everybody else has your stuff ready. So the bald man and the fly is the name of our story, and we don't really need this first page, but I do want you to keep it together with your stuff. So go ahead and put that at the bottom of your stack here. And then you'll see the bald man and the fly story here. Is she coming? Sydney, is your mom coming?
Um,
Or is she busy?
she helped me.
Oh, she did. Okay, good. Yay. Okay. Um, we're going to read this story about the bald man and the fly. We'll start by reading it. And notice it says attributed to Aesop. Remember, we saw that on The Dog in the Shadow. Remember that one? So it's a story, it's a made-up story. And it teaches us a life lesson. So after I read this, we're going to talk about what lesson we can learn from it. Okay. So I'll read it and you follow along on your page. On a hot summer day, a tired traveler sat down to rest and took off his hat. A fly began buzzing about his bald head and sweaty face, landing on his skin from time to time. Get away, fly, he mumbled. He tried to smack the fly, but instead he hit only his own head. When he slapped his skin, it stung, but he slapped again and again, trying to get that pesky insect. But he failed and thus became frustrated and angry. Finally, the man understood his mistake. He thought, we are likely to hurt only ourselves when we get so angry. And there he is, poor guy. And there's the fly. And you can see he's angry. Look at his face. He's like, get the fly, right? He can't even. Has that ever happened to you? It's happened to me before, especially in the summertime when it's hot. Maybe you're trying to eat your hot dog, you're having a barbecue and you're outside and the fly is like landing on your hot dog and you're like, get away. Abby.
There are a ton of flies flying around me right now because
Oh,
we're outside.
oh, yeah, and it's kind of warm still, so that's annoying. Don't hit yourself though.
I even drowned a fly. And I
Ew.
was so happy that I drowned it.
Megan. Malia, did you want to say something?
I feel like every time like a fly will like if I'm in the house and then like a fly accidentally gets in and I'll like get because we have like a couple of fly swatters, so I'll get one and then I'll try to swat it. But every time all of a sudden when I grab it, it goes away and I can't find it anymore.
That's frustrating.
Mhm.
It's like trying to outsmart you, huh? Oh my goodness. All right. Well, the first thing we're going to do, or actually the next thing we're going to do is set up. Oh, we forgot to talk about the lesson. What lesson can we learn from this? He kind of tells us at the end his lesson, but what is the lesson we can learn, a life lesson about this? Okay, let me ask you this. I know you're thinking, um, have you ever been so mad about something that maybe you kicked something before, like a
Yes.
box or a rock or something, and you're just mad and you just, and then all of a sudden you hurt your big toe, right? All of a sudden now you're like, ow, that didn't feel good. Or
And
Malia?
hurt myself with the nose.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Malia, did you want to share something?
I feel like what it's trying to tell us is like to control our anger.
I think that's exactly it. I agree with you. Is that what you were going to say too, Abby? Because yeah, I saw you starting to raise your hand like you were thinking about it. Oops, you're muted. I can't hear you.
Yeah, a couple of times I've like kicked a box or something and then I hurt my big toe.
Yeah, I have too. So I can relate to that when you just get so frustrated. So you're right, Malia. It's about controlling that. It's okay to get mad. That's part of life. We get mad about stuff sometimes, but maybe it'd be better to just grab your pillow and just like scream into your pillow or something, and then you're not hurting yourself, right? So being mad is part of life, like I said, but
When
controlling
I
it.
was little, I was like this to my mom, and then I run to the wall
Oh, yeah,
in
that
my
probably hurt.
nose, and it hurt.
So this poor guy is like smacking his head over and over and over again, and then he's realizing, ow, this kind of hurts. So he's hurting himself. Okay, so let's get our keyword outline ready. So go ahead and put your name here at the top left on your paper. You can use a pen or a pencil right now. It's up to you what you like best. Later, we're going to use the pen, but if you like using pencil, go ahead and use that now. It's okay. Today's date is 10/9/24, October 9th. And then we're going to put the title. So I do want you to skip that next line right under the date there, leave a little space. And then you're going to start writing the bald man. And then when you get to and the over here, you're not going to capitalize those, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. But there's your title. So you're going to capitalize T and the B and bald, the M and man, but not and the. Those are not capitalized there. And then fly is. So as you're writing that, just listen, because when we write titles, there's a way to capitalize a title. It's different than a sentence, right? There's no period, there's no end mark. A title goes at the top in the middle. And when you capitalize titles, you always capitalize the first word, no matter what it is. Like here we have the, capital T, always, okay? The first word is always capitalized. And then after that, usually it's the keywords. You guys are getting good about finding keywords. So like bald man, those are keywords, and fly. But and the are not keywords, right? So that's why these are not capitalized. So that's a little rule. I'll remind you about that a lot. Eventually, it'll get easier to remember how to do that. But underneath that, I want you to put key word, and these are all going to be capitalized outline. Keyword outline. It can be in the middle of your page. Notice mine's not exactly in the middle. That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just somewhere on there. Keyword outline. And then we're going to put our numbers. So after that, you're going to leave that next spot blank. So skip a line, skip that. And then over here by the red line, start with the number 1. And I want you to number all the way to 8. Like that with a dot by all the numbers. That's how I do it. 1 to 8. Okay, so we're still looking at every sentence, just like we did for scorpion. We even did that when we were looking at the dog in the shadow. So we're still going to stay with that for a while. So every sentence is going to have keywords. And then we're going to underline those. And then we're going to decide which are the best keywords out of there. Because show me on your fingers, how many keywords can we put on each number on your outline? Good. I see that. You already had your 3 up. That's right. But who remembers the free stuff we can use? What can we use for free? We don't have to count. Malia, do you remember?
We can like draw it, like if we can like draw something, or we can
Yeah,
if it's like a number, like we can like the number, and
that's right.
I can't remember anything else.
Can't remember the other one. Abby?
We can do numbers, or we can like when it was the dog in the shadow, then it said he growled and snapped, but we just put grr.
Yes. Those are like symbols, right? Or another word is abbreviations. So you guys are both right. Good job. Numbers, symbols, those are the little pictures we can draw. And then abbreviations, those are all free. We don't have to count those. So let's look at the first sentence here. On a hot summer day, a tired traveler sat down to rest and took off his hat. I'm going to underline hot summer day. Those are all good keywords. Tired traveler. This one has a lot of keywords in it. He sat down, rest, and then I'm going to put took off hat. Whoa, that's a lot. So I have hot summer day, tired traveler, sat down, rest, took off hat. Whew. Way too many. We can only have 3. Okay, so we got to figure out what are we going to do here? We got to pick the best of those words to put in our outline because we can only pick 3. So I'm thinking if it's summer, I know it's going to be hot. So if I choose that word summer, it's going to include, I know it's hot and I know it's going to be a day. So I'm going to circle summer. I think that's an important word. I'm going to choose that one. Remember, we can only choose 3, but I'm going to pick summer. And then I know he's a tired traveler, but I think it's important to tell who he is. So I'm going to pick traveler next. I think that would be important to remember. And then sat down to rest. If I choose sat, then I'm going to know he's going to sit down because he's a traveler. So he's traveling. If he's going to sit down, that tells me he's going to rest. So I think sat is going to be another good one for me to put here. And that's going to imply that he's resting. And then maybe we can draw a little hat. I bet we could do that. So I chose summer, traveler, sat. So on your outline, let's put those words. Let's start with summer, comma, traveler, comma, sat. And then I'm going to draw a hat, and you can decide how you want your hat to look. It could be a baseball cap or like a Abraham Lincoln style hat. That's probably the one I'm going to do. Now, that's my hat. You might think of a better hat to draw. He took off his hat. So we have summer, traveler, sat, hat. When I see that hat, I'm hoping that I'm going to remember he took off his hat. Okay. Because it's summer and his head's probably hot too. Sweaty. So this is how we're going to do it now. I'm going to read the sentence. I'm going to call on you. Each one is going to have a turn. I'll read the sentence, but you tell me first, tell me all of the keywords, and then you can tell me what you think are the most important ones. You can only pick 3. So the next sentence, I have Abby do the next sentence. So let me read it. It's kind of a lot. It says, a fly began buzzing about his bald head and sweaty face, landing on his skin from time to time. So what are all the keywords in that sentence?
Fly,
Good.
buzzing,
Yes.
bald,
Yes.
sweaty,
Yes.
landing.
I hear a duck in the background there.
Yeah, we have ducks.
Cute. Landing,
Skin
skin,
and time.
and time. Ooh, I like those. And there's a couple others that are good keywords, but I like what you chose. Those are good. And if you underline face and words like that, that's okay too. So that's a lot though. Now we got to figure out what are the most important ones to remember for this sentence. What do you think, Abby?
Uh, Fly,
So I have an idea about fly because in our title we have fly. So I think we'll remember that we're talking about a fly. So I don't really want to waste a word on a word that we already know the stories about. I agree with you that it's important. Fly is important, but we have it in the title, so I don't think we need that. So what else would you pick?
bald,
Bald. I think bald is important. Let's circle that. What else?
um, sweaty.
Sweaty, yeah. And one more. What do you think would be important?
Landing.
I agree with that, Abby. I think landing, we can assume that it's landing on his skin. And it from time to time, that's not super important to know, but I think you're right. Bald, sweaty, landing. I think those are the best of the keywords. Good job with that. So let's put bald, sweaty, and landing. And we know we're talking about a fly here. So when you go to write these sentences, you can remember that part that we're talking about a fly. It's in the title. Good job, Abby. Okay, Sydney, the next sentence says, "Get away, fly," he mumbled. Okay, what are some key words there? Go ahead and unmute. Tell us what the key words are, Sydney. "Get away, fly," he mumbled.
Mumbled.
Definitely mumbled, yeah.
I don't know.
I would say "get away, fly." That whole thing he says, those are all key words. "Get away, fly," mumbled. And do you guys know what mumbled means? Do you know what that means? Yeah, Malia, what is mumbled?
It means when you're kind of like not talking clearly. You're kind of
Yes.
not pronouncing your words right, like you're not enunciating them.
Nice. Very good explanation. I love that. And it's kind of like what I did earlier. It's kind of like it's not even really words, right? He's trying to say, "Get away, fly." But it's kind of coming out like not correct. It's not clear, right? Very good. All right, so back to Sydney then. What we have four words circled here. So what do you think we should put on our outline? What are the best of those keywords?
Mumbled.
Yeah,
Get away.
I agree. Good job, Sydney, because we know we're talking about a fly, so we don't have to say that again. I think we could say, let's put this in quotes. He says in quotes right here, "Get away," and then mumbled. And I put quotes there because that's what he says, right? He's saying to the fly, "Get away, fly," but not that clear. But we know that's what he's trying to say. And he mumbled. Very good. So the next one, when you're ready, London, you're going to do the next one. It says, "He tried to smack the fly, but instead he hit only his own head, only his own head." So when you're ready, tell us what all of the key words are in that sentence. What do you think?
Um, Maybe smack
Yes, smack is one.
instead.
Instead, good.
Um, Head
Head, good.
and maybe hit.
Yeah, I think hit is good too. Okay, so that's four. I like those keywords. What do you think are the best of those keywords for this sentence?
Um, Maybe um,
There's an idea here because we have four words and we can only use three, but is there one of those words can we draw maybe? So that we can use like three words, but maybe draw one of them? I'm wondering if like the word head, maybe we could draw a head. That would be kind of easy, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, so what should we write down?
Instead,
So smack, yeah, let's put smack. And instead, I like that. And then what?
hit.
Hit. And then we'll draw a head. So here's my idea. I'm not going to make him happy because he's kind of mad. I'm going to make his face straight like that. But I'm going to draw a little arrow here to that round part. Can you guys see that okay? Move that up a little bit. So I have smack instead, hit, and then I just drew a head, but I didn't want to make it a happy face, right? Because he's not very happy. You could even make it a frown if you wanted to. He's annoyed, right? That'll help us remember. Okay, and by the way, I forgot to circle those. So make sure you circle smack instead and hit. Those are the 3 words we use there. Good, London. Good job. And then when you're ready, Megan, I'm going to read this and you tell us all the keywords and then we'll pick ones. It says, when he slapped his skin, it stung, but he slapped again and again, trying to get that pesky insect. So let's look at all the keywords first. What do you think?
Which sentence are we on?
Right here where it says when. When he
Okay.
slapped his skin, it stung, but he slapped again and again, trying to get that pesky insect.
Slapped.
Yeah, that's a good one. Slapped, okay.
Stun.
Stung is good, yep.
Skin.
Yes, skin is important. It's a key word.
I don't think we need to do slap twice.
I agree with that. Good thinking. What else is a key word in there?
Again.
Yeah, I like that. Again. And then we probably don't need to do that one twice, right?
Pesky.
Yes, I like that. Pesky.
I don't know about insect.
Well, let's underline it. It is a key word. We might not choose that one, but it is a key word. I wanted to go back to pesky. Do you guys know what that means? Pesky? You
Mad.
have yeah, mad. What do you think, Abby? What is pesky? When the fly is being pesky,
It's like being annoying.
yeah, it's bothering you, right? It's annoying. That's right. So that's what the fly is
To make a
doing.
buzzing noise, which I hate.
Yes. I hate that when they do it, like they fly like right next to your ear. It's like, psst, like really loud.
God, they're on me. I always get
Ah,
itchy every time they're on me.
so annoying. So annoying. All right. So what are the best of those keywords? What do you think, Megan? What should we put in our outline?
Slapped.
I agree. I think slapped is good because that's what he's doing. So slapped.
Stun.
Stung. Yep. Do you know what he means by stung? It's like
Yeah,
it
he
kind
got
of
stung.
like
He's like, ow!
even if you just slap the back of your hand, it's like there's a little sting. You can feel it. It's
Yeah.
like, but if you really smack yourself, yeah, ow.
Pesky.
Pesky. I like it. Let's do that. Slapped, stung, pesky. And he slapped his skin. So I wonder if we should maybe draw a head again because we want to remember that he slapped. It wasn't that he was just slapping the fly, he was slapping his head. So I'm going to draw a little head again here. Put the arrow again on that. And then stung and pesky. Pesky is talking about the fly. So okay, for the next, let's see, we have one more. Malia is going to do the next sentence. The next sentence says, but he failed and thus became frustrated and angry. What are all the keywords first?
So failed,
I like failed. Yeah, failed is one.
became,
Became
frustrated,
frustrated.
angry,
Good. Nice. And there's four. So which ones are we going to pick for the three that we want to do?
mm, but, but, oh wait, no, alright, okay,
Yeah, we don't need that.
yeah, um, failed,
I agree. Failed is a good one. Circle that.
became,
Maybe, but we've got some good words describing how he feels here.
I would, failed, and frustrated and angry.
That's what I'm thinking, frustrated and angry. But as we go through this in this class, you can, if you like that word became better, that's okay. Everybody's outline can be a little bit different. That's okay. Because then you would pick either frustrated or angry. But I agree with that. Let's do frustrated and angry. And we kind of can already know that he became that, right? Because we get what's going on here. We understand this poor guy. So let's put failed and then frustrated and angry. Okay. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit right now while you're finishing writing that. I'm going to let you do 7 and 8 by yourself at home for your homework. You're going to do 7 and 8. I want to talk to you about the checklist. So after you finish writing number 6, which is failed, frustrated, and angry, go to the checklist next. It's this page right here. This is new to you. This is page 29, and this is called a checklist. And you'll see at the top, it says Unit 2, Composition Checklist, Week 3, The Bald Man and the Fly. So this goes with the Bald Man and the Fly. There's a spot for your name, so you can put your name on there. And the source text, you don't have to worry about that right now, but that's for the name of the story. And then what I really want you to focus on, these little tiny boxes. You see those boxes on there? Those are for you to actually put a check mark in. But here's the thing. You have to do the thing first. And then after you do it, then you put a check in there. Sydney, did you have a question?
I can't find that page.
Uh-oh, it might still be in your binder. Maybe you didn't get it out.
Okay.
Um, Maybe after class, see if your mom can help you find it, okay? It,
And it.
oh, good. You have yours? It should have been part of the papers you took out. Do you have yours, Malia? Oh, okay. That's not good. It should be like behind that source text tab at the beginning of your binder. That's where all this, that's why I wanted you to take out all 4 pages. Okay. Did you find it, Malia?
Did you say behind it? Behind the.
Yeah, it's page 29. So like this, oops. The one right here that says source text tab, that's where all these pages came from. Right
I,
behind that. So when you turn that, you should see it there.
I found it.
Oh, good. Okay. Hopefully Malia finds it.
I found it too.
Okay, yay, good. Okay, good. Okay, so back to this. The first one under structure says name and date in the upper left-hand corner. So that's going to be on a clean sheet of paper. When you go to write this paragraph, you're going to make sure to put your name and date in the upper left-hand corner. That's where it goes always. And then once you write down your name and the date, put a check there. Okay, this is when you go do your paragraph, when you go write it later at home. And then the next box says composition double spaced. This is when I want you to put those little X's in there. Put those little X's all the way down your lined paper to help you remember to skip lines. If you're typing it, Like Megan, you'll set it to double space like your mom showed you how to do that. Make sure you double space it. If you're writing it on lined paper, make sure you put those little X's in there, okay? So you're skipping lines as you're writing this. And then the next one says title centered and repeats 1 to 3 key words from final sentence. We're going to talk about that one next week because I'm going to show you how to pick a title for your story, okay? And then it says checklist on top, final draft, rough draft, keyword outline. You can actually ignore that one. That's only when you're doing a class in person. You guys are all doing it online. So you don't have to worry about that fourth box there. You can ignore that one. And then see where it says style. And under that, it says paragraph 1. That's what that means. That P symbol means paragraph 1. You're only writing one paragraph. And it says dress ups. Dress ups are those words that we're going to add to your writing to dress it up. I'm sure you guys have dressed up for church or maybe dressed up for a wedding where you put a dress on, and if you're a boy, which we don't have any boys in here right now, but they would put on like a tie maybe for something fancy. So that's what we do with our writing to dress up our writing. We're going to add special words to our writing like ly adverb. See that right there? So we're going to think of an ly adverb that we can add to your paragraph, and we're going to do that next week. Okay? I'll show you how to do that next week. And then the mechanics down here, it just says capitalization, end marks and punctuation, complete sentences. Does it make sense? So in order to tell if it makes sense, you need to read it to somebody. And that will help you to know if you need to fix anything. Okay, you need to read it to someone and then to check your spelling. If you need help with spelling, you can ask your parent for that. So I want you to get out your second piece of lined paper. I have to go get one from the other side of the room here really quick, but get out your second piece of lined paper and a pen, and I'll be right back. Okay. Well, I actually ran out of paper, so I want you to use a clean sheet. I'm just going to turn mine on the back side, but I want you guys to use a clean sheet of paper, lined paper. And we're going to set this up for your paragraph. Okay, so get out a clean sheet. And the reason why I want you to try to use a pen is because I really want you to try really hard not to erase. Because sometimes we get so frustrated and we're fixing things and erasing things. Have you ever erased so much you actually erase a hole in your paper? Has that ever happened to you before? And you have to really throw it away because it's like a mess, a really big mess. Now, you can use a pen, and even if you make a mistake, there is a way to fix it. So on your lined paper, go ahead and put your name here and then the date again. And instead of writing the title, I just want you to draw a line like this to hold a spot for a title. And we're going to leave it blank because we're going to talk about that next week. Okay. And then on the side here, next to this red line, I want you to get this ready. I'm going to have you do little X's here. So we're going to put an X on that first line and then leave that next line open and then do an X on the next one and then skip and then X and skip and X. Do that all the way to the bottom of your paper. Skip, X, skip, X, skip, X, all the way to the very bottom of your paper. If you mess up, it's okay. Just draw a line through it and do it on the right line because I know you're using a pen right now. And that's okay if you mess up. It's really okay. I don't want you to worry about that. Okay, now you're ready to start your paragraph. I'm just going to show you the very first sentence. So our first sentence is going to say something about summer, traveler, sat, and hat. So you don't have to write this. I'm just going to model for you, okay? You're going to do this at home by yourself, but I'm going to say something like, and I'm going to start on a line that does not have an X, and I'm going to move over a little bit to indent, and I'm going to put one summer day, a traveler sat, and now I'm going to skip that line with the X down to rest and took off his hat. If you like my sentence, you can copy it. If you want to make your own sentence, you can make your own sentence. That's how I'm starting mine. Notice there's a space here. Let's pretend for a second that I decided I wanted to change that word rest. And let's pretend for a second I want to make it say, hold on. I want to make it say relax. If I mess up because I'm writing with pen, I'm going to do one line. I'm not going to scribble like, don't do that. You're going to do one line. And then let's say I want to change that to relax. I'm going to write it right there because that's an open spot for me. I can fix it right there, no problem. So if you're using a pen, which I want you to try to do, and you make a mistake, don't scribble. One line through it and fix it on top of that. Okay? So your homework is going to be to finish this outline here, a keyword outline. You're going to do 7 and 8 by yourself and write all 8 sentences in a paragraph on a separate sheet of paper. Yes, Megan.
I don't get frustrated with pens anymore. Like, I don't just scribble
Good,
anymore.
good.
I like
Good.
using pens better than a pencil.
I do too, because you don't have to push as hard with your hand, huh? It's a little easier to write with it like that. So
Yeah.
we're going to talk more about this next week, but I want you to write the paragraph. Don't put a title yet. We're going to talk about the title next week. But that's it for today. I know we went a little bit long. You guys did great and have fun writing this. And then I will see you next week. Or actually, I won't see you next week because I'm not going to be teaching that day. So you can either join a different class or watch a recording, but I will tell your parents about that. I'll email them, okay? All
You
right.
also froze for 1 minute. Like,
Uh-oh.
all of you were froze, including the students, and then it unfroze.
It must have been your internet being weird, huh?
Maybe, I don't know.